Welcome to the Running Network Show. Join us each time as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great sport.
Steve, a former world record holder, not quite the shape he used to be. I think there was a threat of running on Sunday, but he's decided not to now. I think you're more concerned about your own athletes running the race, Steve, aren't you? And Joni, very warm welcome. Of course, former Olympic champion. It always sounds wrong when you say former Olympic champion. You're not a former Olympic champion, you're always an Olympic champion. But you get my gist. Joni, a very warm welcome. I'm looking to run on Sunday. 2:46, I think, is the target, Joni?
Sub 3 hours. Notice I wasn't seated with the elite athletes.
So that's to get into the Olympic trials for next year, is that right?
No, it's all about coming back to Chicago 25 years later after I passed this marathon. And something about the numbers 10, aligning with 21. And so I'm just delighted to be back and planning on running as well as I can on Sunday.
So I was misled. I thought you ran 2:49 in New York last year, and that you needed to get a certain time to make the Olympic trials. You're not going to pick that up.
Well, that's out there, but we'll see what Sunday brings.
Steve, so what's all this about bottling out of Sunday then?
I've got my usual Christmas hamstring problem, so I'm not going to be able to run this weekend. It plays up after about 40 minutes of running every time I try and run. I run 3 days at a time, then I have to take 2 or 3 days off. And I try again 2 days later, 2 days in running, and I have to take small time off. So it's just fortunate that I have a lot of interest in the race because of the athletes I have running. I'm going to have to be running 10 minutes at a time to get from point to point to point run.
Did you really want to run, or when the hamstring goes, do you sort of go, oh, that's better?
Thank God for that. Yeah. That's a relief. I was actually getting in pretty good shape early in the year. I committed to run less than 100. Hence my haircut a little bit on the outcome of the race, and I lost. It's not a winning haircut, so I had to take my head for a month. But I was in pretty good shape. I was looking forward to coming to Chicago and at least running with some of my athletes.
Kerry, no plans for you to run obviously on Sunday or in the foreseeable future?
Unfortunately, I have other responsibilities race morning to keep me from running. So.
I understand you've got ambitions in tap dancing.
Yeah. Have you heard about that? No. Trying to keep the levity in our office going, for sure.
So there's no truth?
No, just nothing at all.
Okay. Kerry, 21 years in charge, it's your baby. You brought it from relatively humble beginnings to the monstrous event it is now. What stands out for you from the last few years as special?
Well, obviously it's an unbelievable tradition in Chicago, and we've continued with that tradition from Joan and Steve's historic performances in '85 to 2005. Tremendous support of Bank of America to continue with that tradition. If you look around the world today with the athletes that we brought to Chicago, and to provide the resources and support to continue with that tradition. I think you told me to turn my phone off, didn't you? Which I didn't do.
You're the exception.
I'm the exception to the rule. So we're pleased and looking forward to some great performances and continuing with the tradition of the elite fields of the city of Chicago.
Does it get easier putting together the elite field for this race every year, or because of the reputation of the race, or is it still a struggle? Because you're up against a lot of competition. There's New York, there's Berlin, there's a bunch of other races that want these athletes.
I think so. I think there's a lot of athletes that are coming to the marathon a lot earlier than we've seen in the past. But as you'll talk about a little later in the conference here, there's a certain time and a point in athletes' careers when they want to come to Chicago. This is a place where Steve and Joan obviously started the tradition of running fast here. If you look at Paul Radcliffe, Kathleen Gareba, Khalid Kanucci, world records have been set here. Great racing, great performances. So. There's a reputation that adds to the process of bringing athletes to Chicago.
Speaking of which, Steve, you won here in '84, came back as defending champion and reigning champion, and retained your title in '85 and set a UK record, a European record. What do you remember of that day? What stands out, if you remember anything?
first time I've been in a race where it's a pacemaker, and it was Carl Thackeray. And Carl, unfortunately, was a little sick before the start of the race. He had a bit of a flu, and he told me he had a flu, but he said he'd go as quick as he can for as long as he could. And we got to a mile, and I think the first mile was maybe 4:50, 4:45. He said, "Is this quick enough?" And I said, "Not really." I said, "I'll take over." So I ran next to him for the next 2 or 3 miles, and the next thing I knew, I was by myself. And he pulled into the hotel. I think it was higher than he pulled into the hotel, and that's the last I saw of him. And Simeon Keegan chased me for a couple of miles. And when I asked him if he wanted to take over and do a bit of work, he said, "No, I'm happy here." I said, "Okay." And I just put my head down and carried on running. And I just remember it was a solitary kind of run. I saw some people out on the course that I recognised. There wasn't quite so many spectators in those days. And I think there were only like 8,000 people in the race anyway, which is probably like a 45,000 stage back way back then. But I just remember it was a very lonely race. And it was a race of determination, I suppose.
Steve, you won by over a minute that day, but your PR remained at 2:07. Do you feel as though you could have gone a lot quicker? Would you like to be mixing with these guys now running 2:4, 2:5 on a regular basis?
Yes, and we all would. I think anybody reaches the level that we reach, would like to be participating and competing in today's marathon world. I always thought I could probably run about 2:5. I thought that was the limit. Nobody would probably run much faster than that. And I was wrong. I never had the kind of competition or the kind of pressure that these guys have today, of set-up races, and Johnny will attest to that, I'm sure, but we just put our heads down and ran. It was mostly an individual effort as opposed to team effort and pacemaker effort.
Johnny, you won the Olympics in '84 in LA in front of a home crowd. I guess it's hard to top that. And then you came here the following year and ran 2:21 to win the women's race. For you, did it get any better than that?
I think just being able to be participating in our sport today is the only thing that tops that win in LA and my win here in Chicago. I never dreamed that I'd be competing 25 years later. So it's a real gift just to be here and towing the line on Sunday.
You're looking for 3 hours, Johnny. You obviously still train pretty hard. Do you, does part of you wish you were, like I was asking Steve, do you wish you were part of the elite mix now and pushing to join the 9 women who have broken 2:20? I think it's still only 9 women who have gone on the 2:20, but you were so close to it a couple of times.
Well, the first words uttered out of my mother's mouth when I took my victory lap in LA were, "Now can you quit?" And I had goals that I still wanted to achieve, and I was just thinking goals, and obviously one of those goals was to run a sub-2:20 marathon, which never happened, but at least I can say I was still active in the sport when it did happen. I never look at marathon courses before I run. I wish I had in 1985. I was feeling great. It was all about going after Erin Christensen's record in that race. She had run 2:21.6 in London that spring, and we were head-to-head here in Chicago. And Rosamunda was also in the field. She finished third. So it was all about beating Ingrid, and I thought if I was able to beat Ingrid on a fast course, there might be a world record associated with that. And I was just trying to hang on to Ingrid through 10 miles, and I said, if I can do this, then I can hold on for the rest of the race. And she dropped at 10, and there I was on my own, not knowing where the finish line was. And I felt really strong that day, and who knows what would have happened had I known where the course went. But I have no regrets.
I mean, Paula's 2:15 stands out there as a couple of minutes quicker than anybody else has run. Do you think that's going to be there for a long time yet?
A long time.
And your daughter's running Sunday. Did you make her debut?
She's hoping to, yes.
You going to run together?
Not unless she catches me, which she could do.
She's aiming
At Boston qualifying time. She grew up in New England.
for. Remind us what that is.
I don't even know, Guy. She's 20
But Johnny, you're going to be 10 minutes up the road from her in that case.
I hope so. I hope I'm a few more minutes. I just want to be within a minute of Colleen per mile. She's unbelievable. She's my inspiration now.